April 6th, 2026, the MV Hondius, a Dutch luxury expedition cruise ship, cuts through the South Atlantic. 23 nationalities, 175 people, the trip of a lifetime. A 70-year-old Dutch man begins to feel unwell. A slight fever, fatigue, probably nothing. 5 days later, he was dead, on the ship, in the middle of the ocean. No explanation. And what came next spread to 4 continents. A German woman's body lay on that ship for days. No port would take her. A flight attendant who briefly walked past an infected passenger was rushed into isolation in Amsterdam. Passengers already home in California, Texas, Virginia, quietly told to go to the nearest hospital. And the most terrifying part? This killer didn't come from rodents. It came from another person. Breathing. What happened on that ship rewrote everything we knew about one of the deadliest viruses in North America. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you will never look at a dusty corner of your home the same way again. But first, I need to tell you about a 14-year-old girl from North Dakota. Her name is Evie. July 2022, previously healthy, 14 years old, she wakes up with a headache, a fever. Stomach pain so bad she can barely stand. The doctor sees shadows on her chest, X-ray. Pneumonia. She's rushed to Cincinnati Children's Hospital. Within 24 hours, Evie is in acute respiratory distress. Her lungs are not failing. They are filling with fluid, slowly. The way you drown from the inside. From exposure she never even noticed. A dusty shed. A corner she walked through without knowing. I'll tell you what happened to Evie at the end. But first, you need to understand exactly what you're up against. Not every mouse is a killer, but one specific species is. The deer mouse, white belly, white feet, fur on its tail, unlike the naked, scaly tail of a common house mouse. That tiny difference is the difference between an ordinary pest and a biological weapon walking through your walls. It sheds Hantavirus in its saliva, urine and droppings without ever getting sick itself. It just keeps moving through your basement, your attic, your garden shed. The virus survives on surfaces for up to a week. Longer in dark, undisturbed spaces. Think about those spaces in your home right now. Mice squeeze through a hole the width of a pencil. 1/4 of an inch, they may already be inside. And I haven't told you the worst part yet. The worst part is how people get infected during cleanup. The one tool almost everyone reaches for that turns a simple chore into a death sentence. That's coming. But first, back to that ship. April 1st, the MV Hondius departs Ushuaia, Argentina, Antarctica, isolated islands, the trip of a lifetime. April 6th, fever, fatigue, nothing alarming. April 11th, he is dead, cause unknown. The ship continues. April 24th, his wife disembarks at St. Helena with his remains, boards a flight to Johannesburg. Somewhere over the South Atlantic, she collapses. She dies on April 26th. A French passenger on that same flight later develops symptoms. The virus has left the ship. Back on board, a German woman develops fever on April 28th. She dies May 2nd. Her body stays on the ship. Port after port turns them away. The ship's own doctor, a ship guide, both test positive, both airlifted out. A KLM flight attendant, someone who only briefly passed by, rushed into isolation in Amsterdam. 3 dead. 11 cases across 5 countries. Passengers being tracked across the United States. The WHO and CDC confirm the unthinkable. The Andes virus, a strain of Hantavirus, was spreading human to human. Not from rodents, through breath, possibly airborne, CDC Health Advisory, HAN 00528. For decades, Hantavirus had one source, rodents. The MV Hondius shattered that. The Andes strain moves between people, and it already has, across an ocean. Still think this only happens on expedition ships? Betsy Arakawa, 65 years old, wife of Gene Hackman. She didn't travel to Antarctica. She was at home in New Mexico. She is gone. Hantavirus. This virus lives in ordinary places. It always has. Before we get into exactly how to protect yourself, hit subscribe. All right, So here is exactly what you do. First, seal up. Walk every wall, every pipe, every gap. 1/4 of an inch, that's all they need. No plastic, no wood. Rodents chew through all of it. Use cement, solid metal, copper mesh. They won't touch copper. Second, trap up. Never use live or glue traps. A panicking rodent urinates in fear. That urine becomes an aerosol, invisible particles suspended directly above the trap you're reaching down to collect. You breathe it in before you realize. Snap traps only. Along walls, mice navigate by pressing against surfaces, thigmotaxis. Place the traps exactly where they travel. And now, finally, clean up, the thing that kills people who think they're being careful. Do not touch a vacuum. Do not touch a broom. They aerosolize the virus. They turn a visible problem into an invisible cloud you walk directly into and breathe. This is the #1 way people get infected. The wet methods only. 1. Ventilate. Every door, every window, 30 full minutes before you enter. 2. PPE, rubber gloves, N100 or HEPA respirator. A dust mask will not stop hantavirus particles. 3. Soak the area in a 10% bleach solution. 1.5 cups per gallon. Wait 10 full minutes. The virus must be dead before anything touches it. 4. Double bag everything, outdoor bin. Keep food in sealed containers. Wood piles 100 feet from the house. Never leave pet food out overnight. Monitoring window after any rodent exposure, 1 to 8 weeks. Watch for the prodrome, sudden fever, exhaustion, severe muscle aches in the thighs, hips, lower back. It feels exactly like the flu. That is what makes it fatal. People wait and go to sleep. Assume they'll feel better. By the time a cough develops, the capillaries in your lungs are already leaking. Fluid accumulating, your body drowning itself. Nothing reverses it once it starts. Any cough or any shortness of breath. Emergency room. Now, say these exact words. I have had rodent exposure and I am having difficulty breathing. Those words change how fast they move. There is no cure, but early ICU care and in severe cases, ECMO can push survival to 80%. Only if you arrive in time. Time is the only medicine. Now, remember Evie? She made it. After ECMO, after the machines, after the longest week of her family's life, fully recovered. She runs track now and she wants to be a nurse. She almost didn't exist anymore. Because of a space she walked through, dust she breathed, a deer mouse she never even saw. The 2026 outbreak proved the Andes strain can cross an ocean on human breath alone, and the version living in your attic, your shed, your closed-up cabin has always been there. It always will be. You know what to do now. Don't wait until you need to remember it.